First, you're going to put in the horizon line. You're going to turn your paper landscape or horizontal. You're going to find the middle of our paper here. The height is 8.5 inches. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. We're going to make a mark there at 4 1/4. Make sure you start with 0 up at the top of your ruler. I'm going to make a mark at 4 1/4 here in the middle. Mark at 4 1/4 here on the right side. Mark at 4 1/4 on the right side of your paper. So you have 3 marks at 4 1/4. If you don't know where 4 1/4 is, it's right over here. There's 4 parts in an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just want one of those 4 parts, 1/4. Okay, so we're going to draw a horizontal line through those 3 marks we made at 4 1/4. We want to line up the edge of the ruler with the edge of the paper to make sure it's a straight horizontal line. Okay, we are now going to put in our vanishing point. Vanishing point is going to go right in the center. The width of our paper is 11 inches. Half of 11 inches is 5 1/2. So we're going to find 5 1/2. Make sure you start at 0 over there on the left. 5 1/2 inches. We're going to put our vanishing point in right there. Okay, so we are drawing 9 cubes in 1-point perspective, 3 above the horizon line, 3 on the horizon line, and 3 below. We're going to draw the first set of squares at the top above the horizon line. We're going to draw a set of 3 horizontal lines up at the top of our paper. We want to make sure we start at 0 on the left. And we are drawing 3 lines from 1 inch to 3 inches, 4 1/2 inches to 6 1/2, 8 to 10. Okay. We're going to measure down from those 3 lines. I'm going to start at 0 here at the horizontal line. Measure down. Make a mark at 2 inches. So our square is going to be 2 inches high. 2 and 2. So we have our new level here. We're going to draw 3 more of those horizontal lines. Make sure you start at 0 on the left. Make sure your ruler is straight. 1 to 3, 4 1/2 to 6 1/2, and 8 to 10 inches. Okay. Now we have our horizontal lines across the top and across the bottom. We're going to draw in vertical lines to close off our squares. You want to make sure that your vertical line is straight. You're going to line up the edge of the ruler up at the top with the edge of the paper to get a nice straight vertical line. Okay, so we have our 3 squares, our 2D squares that we're going to now turn into 3-dimensional cubes or forms. We're now going to draw our orthogonal lines from the 3 closest
Will the
corners.
following students please report to the front office? Andres Jimenez, Jonathan Bravo, Ramon Villapando, and Nicolette Reyes.
So we're drawing our orthogonal lines from the 3 closest points to the vanishing point on the square. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to close off our cube Because it's above the horizon line, we can see underneath and we can see the side. So we're going to draw a parallel horizontal line on the bottom here to close off the bottom of our cube. We want to line up the edge of the ruler with the edge of our paper to make sure it's a straight horizontal line. Then we're going to close off the side with a straight vertical line. So from this point here, we're going to go straight up. Line up the edge of the ruler with the edge of our paper up at the top. And then draw our vertical line. Okay, then we're going to erase the extra orthogonal lines. Now we're going to work on the one in the center. Because we're looking straight ahead at this square here, we're only going to see the bottom, we can't see the sides. 2 orthogonal lines from the 2 bottom corners, and then a horizontal line to close off the bottom. Then we have our third cube here. We're similar to the first one. We're going to see the side and then the bottom. We're drawing orthogonal lines from the 3 closest points, 1, 2, and 3. I'm not going to go all the way through, so I don't have to erase too much of my extra orthogonal lines. I'm just going to go about halfway. Close off the bottom with a horizontal line. Make sure you line up the edge of the ruler with the edge of the paper. We want a nice straight horizontal line and a straight vertical line. So we're lining up the ruler at the top here. From this point, we're going straight up, erasing the extra orthogonal lines. Now we're going to draw 3 cubes on the horizon line. We're going to do that the same way. We're drawing 3 horizontal lines for our cubes right underneath the top one. So 1 to 3, 4.5 to 6.5, 8 to 10. Measuring down 2 inches from each one, making a mark at 2, 2 inches tall, 2 inches high, 2. Drawing our lines again, 1 to 3. Start at 0 on the left, 1 to 3, 4.5 to 6.5, 8 to 10. Draw your vertical lines to close off the sides. Line up the ruler at the top edge of the paper. Top edge of the ruler lines up with the top edge of the paper for our straight vertical lines. Okay, then we're going to draw our orthogonal lines. These cubes are going to be at our eye level, so we can't see the tops or the bottoms, or underneath these cubes we can only see the sides. The one in the middle we're looking straight forward at, so we can't see the bottom, top, or sides. We're drawing 2 orthogonal lines. Not going all the way through. Just for the side here, closing it off with a vertical line. Make sure top edge of the ruler is lined up with the top edge of the paper. Closing that off there. Erasing the extra orthogonals. Same thing on the other side. 1, 2. Closing off the side with a vertical line. Okay. Now we're down to the cubes that are below our eye level. Down here, we're going to draw 3 again. We're going to draw the same 3 sets of horizontal lines. We're going to come down about 3/4 of an inch. 1 to 3, start at 0, 4.5 to 6.5, 8 to 10. Measure down 2 inches. 2. Draw your lines again, start at 0, 1 to 3, 4.5 to 6.5, 8 to 10. Vertical lines to close off the sides. Now we're ready to draw our orthogonal lines. We're drawing our lines from the 3 closest points to the vanishing point. I'm not going to draw them all the way through because I'm going to overlap this cube. So I'm just going to go about halfway there. 2, 3. The cube in the center, we're only going to be able to see the top because we're looking down at it. We can't see the sides, so just 2. And then the 3 closest points to the vanishing point here for this cube. Same as the top, same thing we did to the cubes up at the top. This time we can see the top of the cube. As this is below our eye level, we're looking down at the cubes. I'm going to get all of these horizontal lines in at the same time here. Close off the sides with vertical lines, erasing the extra orthogonals.